Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief. This is James Pierce for June 29th. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. It's getting started for this Independence Day week. 250 years. Do y'all say Happy Independence Day or Happy 4th of July? I like to say a Happy Independence Day, but people say different things, probably from different parts of the country. But whether you say Happy 4th of July or Happy Independence Day, is do you truly celebrate Independence Day? All right, but it's more than just fireworks. All right, so welcome to the morning brief. Only 5 days away from the 250th anniversary of the signing of uh, of the Declaration of Independence. Great. Oh wow, look at that. A buddy of mine he commented on YouTube and on Rumble. As Ricky. Ricky, good morning. Good to see you, man. Um, Looking forward to seeing you Wednesday night too. Um, let's see. Welcome to the podcast this morning as we get started. Okay. If you are not already a follower of the JPA Report channel, which is JP's Morning Brief and the JP8 Report. Right beside if you look on your screen, you'll see join. Right next to join is a bell. Click on the bell, scroll down, and click follow. And then you become a follower. You never have to do it ever again. All right? And then click that like button, at that thumbs up. Give me a like for the episode today. And just like Covite for Life did, and Richard Derby 1318 over on ScrewTube. You can do that too. But let's do some work, have some fun, and let's get started on this. As you know, it's been a whirlwind situation today. This past few days, right? Iran and the U.S. both exchanged fire several times over the last few days. Last night, finally, Iran said, "Oh, let's talk, okay?" Because I ain't gonna say the U.S. said let's talk. Iran said let's talk, because needless to say, the 4th of July is coming soon, and I'm sure Iran doesn't want us to celebrate our 250th anniversary of our independence by having the world's largest fireworks display on show for the whole world to see over the skies of Tehran, because that's exactly what would happen. Because I'm pretty sure our president would do that. They put so many MEPs in the center of Tehran, it'll glow for decades. So let's talk, guys. So they're scheduled to talk starting, I believe, tomorrow in Qatar. All right. Um, so this is my headlines and then I got something to read on it too. The U.S. and Iran agree to halt their strikes. And Qatar talks are supposed to start on Tuesday, which leads to this one right here. If I can get the paper part. Oh, there we go. The United States and Iran will reportedly stand down for now. After a week in military skirmishes in the Strait of Hormuz, and both sides will try to reboot peace talks in Qatar this week. Officials told multiple news outlets, according to Axios, CNN, and Fox News, that there was an easing in tensions over several days of exchanging fire near the strait. Technical talks are slated to continue on all areas of the MOU. Both sides will stand down for now, and vessels can move freely, the White House told Fox News. Axios reported the two sides will resume talks in Doha, Qatar, on Tuesday. CENTCOM conducted strikes on multiple targets in Iran after Tehran attacked a Panamanian-flagged tanker near the strait. And then, as you'll see in just a second, Iran decided, after we retaliated for the Panamanian vessel being struck, they decided they wanted to attack Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain, the three of the smallest countries in the Arabian Peninsula. They decided, like a bully, they would attack the little guy. Right. Go figure. 91 million people in the country of Iran, and they want to pick on the little guys. Israel and Hezbollah exchange fire, and Hezbollah says it will defend its homeland. Hezbollah does not have a homeland. Lebanon has a homeland. For thousands of years, Lebanon has had a homeland. Hezbollah, not so much. Oil prices have been up and down. Right now, it's settled below $70 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate. I'll give you that price in just a minute. Israel destroyed a 200-meter long tunnel that belonged to Hezbollah. As I said, Iran attacked Bahrain and Kuwait and Qatar. Iran says, their spiritual leader said, the U.S. leader will be seized by the collar. I won't even comment on that one. Oman rejects Iran's toll plan for the Strait. That's what led to all this. Qatar got attacked by Iran. Tehran demands ships submit to Iranian directives. And then Israel will withdraw from Lebanon only when the Lebanese army moves in to occupy the dead space. All right. The Dow Jones ended Friday's trading day at 51,876.11. It was down 44.51. West Texas Intermediate right now is at $69.91, $69.91 a barrel. Brent crude oil is at $72.48 a barrel. And then that's your Iranian update for right now. So the Supreme Court in about an hour and a half, no, 2.5 hours, 7:30. Yeah, 2.5 hours, starts releasing its last 8 decisions for the Supreme Court term. There are going to be 2 major decisions in there. One on birthright citizenship, and the second on mail-in ballots. So nobody knows what's going on with those. We'll see. The president may win, president may lose, president may win, president may lose. We will see. Just be patient. Let's respect the authority of the Supreme Court, unlike our Democrat comrades. In Venezuela, as of last night, the report is up to 1,500 are dead and 70,000 people are still missing, and the recovery efforts are still ongoing. There are U.S. military assets in the area to help spread aid and rescue efforts. All right. So let's get on with the rest of this before we run out of time. It's already 6:38. Man, I can't believe 5 days to the Declaration of Independence. All right. So Saturday was a runoff election in the state of Louisiana for this U.S. Senate seat. Julia Letlow won. Hands down, no issues whatsoever. Says he wasn't on the ballot, but President Trump's was a winner in Louisiana's GOP Senate runoff. That's because Trump-backed Representative Julia Letlow defeated State Treasurer John Fleming to capture the Republican nomination 6 weeks after defying Trump-targeted GOP Senate Republican Bill Cassidy for a third 6-year term. A majority of Republican voters in a solidly red Gulf Coast state backed Letlow, Her victory in the runoff is seen as another victory for Trump as he works to fill the halls of Congress with loyal lawmakers in his final 2 years in the White House. And it's another sign that of the power of Trump endorsement in Republican primaries. 5 years after he voted to convict Trump in the second impeachment trial, Cassidy was sent packing. Trump reacted to Letlow's victory in a True Social post, calling Saturday's result great news. He said, Julia Letlow won in Louisiana, beating conclusively a very strong and smart opponent. Congratulations to Julia. She will be a great senator. Letlow, who was backed by Trump even before she entered the race in January, finished first in the primary, double digits ahead of Fleming, with Cassidy in third place. Since no candidate reached 50%, just like here in Texas, Letlow and Fleming advanced to the runoff for the Republican nomination, and Cassidy became the first elected Republican senator to lose renomination since Richard Lugar of Indiana in 2012, which is only 15 years ago. Trump celebrated Cassidy's defeat and said on social media, "It's nice to see that his political career is over." So, congratulations to Miss Julia Letlow. She will soon to be the next U.S. Senator from the state of Louisiana. All right. And then on Friday, the president announced a nominee for ICE director. That'd be Immigration Customs Enforcement. He's from Oklahoma. He used to be an Oklahoma state patrolman also. I'm very pleased to announce that I have nominated Lance Stroyer to be the next ICE director. Lance has over 29 years of law enforcement experience in Oklahoma, a state I won by all 77 counties in 2024. Lance is a former Oklahoma State trooper and a United States Marine. He is a patriot with real operational experience and a proven leader with decades of experience locking up the worst of the worst, including spiriting 287 grams of law enforcement, spiriting 287 G. I don't understand that one. Law enforcement partnerships with ICE. Lance has firsthand experience in getting illegals off the streets, and just like me and our Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen, he loves the men and women of ICE. You know, that's pretty cool that the ICE director is from Oklahoma, and the DHS chair secretary is Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma also. My wife likes the idea of it also, since my wife's from Tulsa, if you didn't know. All right, but congratulations to Mr. Stroyer. I hope that your nomination goes through just fine without any headaches. And then the president this weekend talked about communism in our elections, how communism does not work here in the United States, never has, and never will. President Trump warned American voters on Friday about a supposed rise in communism after progressive candidates won elections in New York earlier last week, right? And then they won also. They won in Washington, D.C., and it looks like there's another one going to win in Denver tomorrow. New York City Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani from Uganda scored a slew of victories Tuesday night when a string of his candidates won their respective primaries and congressional districts, even beating two incumbents. Trump slammed the recent New York elections in comments at a Faith and Freedom Coalition Policy District. He did that on Friday, stating that communist candidates want to completely destroy the traditional American way of life. Communism is very easy to sell. It destroys everything. It is very easy. I'll be honest. I think I'd be the greatest communist in history. President Trump said I'd give free rent. From now on, anybody wants a house, don't worry about it. Just pick the house you want. Everybody gets free food. Everything is free from this point forward, and everyone's going to vote for me. That's easy. That's just how they sell communism and socialism throughout the world. The problem is, after 2 or 3 years, the country is in disaster area. The country fails. It always does. It's so easy to sell. The first year, boy, you're the most popular. Then the happening thing now in New York and California, but you start living in squalor. Well, there will be no food, there will be no housing, and and there won't be any law and order. This is what happens for thousands of years. It's been happening under different names. He's absolutely correct. All right. All right. So where we at? 6:46. And then let's take a moment out. I forgot to do something before we get to the next subject. All right. The armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both in person and online. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text at 254-560-2023, or visit them at www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. Okay, I'm back. All right, sorry about that delay. Next is Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, announced a U.S.-backed framework agreement for normalization of relations between Lebanon and Israel. Great news, right? It's never been like that. They've been in a constant state of war since 1947. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced Friday U.S.-backed framework for a lasting peace and security between Israel and Lebanon following multiple days of talks between both sides in Washington this week. Israel has been clashing with the Iran-backed Hezbollah terrorist group in Lebanon in recent days, despite a previous ceasefire agreement. Today is a good day in that we are happy to announce a framework agreement between the sovereign governments of Lebanon and the government of Israel. With the mediation and support of the United States of America, that begins to put in place a framework for a lasting peace and security. And that's what these two nations deserve. They absolutely deserve that. The people in Lebanon have suffered tremendously now for decades as a result of outside interference in their affairs of countries trying to use the country of a launchpad for attacks, and is not what the people of Lebanon want, and it's not what they deserve, Rubio said. All right? That's right, because Lebanon, with proxies for Iran, for everyone, Syria occupied it for decades. Russia, Hezbollah, the PLO, the Yasser Arafat had his headquarters for the PLO in Lebanon, and that led to a major war in 1982 between Israel and Lebanon, and the Israeli forces went all the way up to Beirut to to um, defeat them, right? Which just led to an agreement, and I think it was Camp David Accords in 1996 at between Yasser Arafat, Ariel Sharon, I think it was, and Bill Clinton. I think that's who it was. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong. It's 6:50 in the morning. It could easily be distracting like that. All right. Um, so next thing I'll go over on JP's morning brief. This is just brief. I go more into detail afterward. And I got a whole lot of stuff here. Tellerico, James Tellerico. He's running for the U.S. Senate here in Texas. Told a prominent Democrat running for a critical U.S. Senate seat in Texas told a self-identified transgender queer Latinx podcast. Latinx isn't even a word. Jose, he hates Christianity in a 2021 interview. In a recent resurfaced episode of Activist Theology podcast, James Tellerico, a Democrat lawmaker now running for the Senate, confided that I always think of myself as a Christian who hates Christianity. We'll just stop right there with that guy. He's a fool. You know, the Democrats had their state convention here in Texas this past weekend in Corpus Christi. And on their literature for the state convention, they failed to even put the names of the Democrat candidate running for governor, lieutenant governor, and the attorney general. None of their. Can only tell you that Gina. Oh man, I can't even pronounce her last. Hinosa, I think Gina Hinosa, I think is running for the Democrat for governor. I think. See, nobody knows who these people are. They're going to get beat here in Texas. They're not serious people. They're just complainers. What we got on time? 6:52. All right, next. Here in Texas, we'll just keep up with that just a little bit. If I can peel the paper back. Texas lawmakers are taking additional measures against proxy advisory firms that oppose companies redomiciling to Texas as Dell shareholders approved redomiciling to Texas from Delaware over the Jackson of proxy advisors. Okay, so what they're talking about there, Dell is going to move from Delaware to Texas officially, their headquarters, right? They've always been in Texas, but for a while, Delaware had the lax registration process for companies in the entire nation. It ain't like that no more. Texas leads the way on that. But there are, so when you have like 15 million outstanding, 15 million outstanding shares of stock, right? Now, all 15 million people are going to be in a convention to vote on your said move, right? So you have blocks of votes. And you have these people that go out, they're lawyers, right? 0.4% of the population. They what they do is they have these companies called they're business companies, right? And what they do is they go under and they advise voters on how they should vote for their shares and stuff. And they're steadily telling people, don't vote for it or vote for it. We don't need to move. It's going to cost too much and this kind of stuff. Well, Texas is putting the pressure down to keep those people from doing that, right? And that's what's happening in the course of, we got Samsung moving here, we have Hyundai moving here, we have Dell moving here, um, SpaceX moving here. Uh, all kinds of major corporations are coming to Texas, and they're doing their best and utmost to keep them from relocating here in Texas. All right. So, proxy advisors are financial firms that research shareholder votes and makes recommendations to institutional investors. They hold positions of trust for their clients, and that trust is broken when our proxy advisors recommend votes that are based on politics, social issues, personal vendettas, and anything other than financial returns. State Senator Brian Hughes from Mineola said. Uh, Brian Hughes is a very conservative member of the Texas State Representatives. And when he announced the need for a hearing last month, Hughes chairs the Texas Senate Committee on State Affairs. In May, Dell Technologies announced it's moving its legal headquarters from Delaware to Texas. Its board of directors recommended the stockholders approve domestication at its annual stockholders meeting on June 25th, which was 4 days ago. On Thursday, with 97% approval, Dell shareholders voted to bring the legal home to Texas. This is home and where we've always belonged. Texas gave us the talent, the universities, and the environment to build something that lasts. Uh, and then ExxonMobil's coming here also. But there's contingency. We'll go more into that next hour. Okay. All right. So moving on because we're running out of time. Quickly before I run out of time, I got to do my announcements in just a second. Scott Bessent predicts the economy is going to have 3% growth. Said Scott Bessent is confident the United States will weather the Iran conflict and a temporary spike in gas prices and finish 2026 with economic growth above 3%, while hitting a 2% reserves, 2% inflation target. That'd be great. He told that to the Just News in a recent upwards revision of the GDP and one of the many signs the economy is proving. Okay, that's cool. All right, so we're gonna stop there for right now. All right, so busy weekend. We had Thursday we had Pines Politics. Saturday we had Coryell County Republican Party Republican Women meeting in Gatesville. And if you go back on my podcast and you look, you'll see data center discussion. That was a 1 hour, very thorough discussion, pros and cons of having data centers. I learned a new term, NIMBY, not in my backyard, but it's really, really good. And then tonight I have a meeting when it's open to the public for the West Side Conservative Coalition. It's going to be in Harker Heights at Papa's Cafe at 6 p.m. Like it says here, all are welcome to attend. All right. Dennis Faulkner is the chair of that group. All right. And then tomorrow is Coryell County Republican Party organizational meeting. It's a requirement in the state of Texas. It starts at 6 p.m. It's at Trinity Worship Center in Copperas Cove behind Walmart. Look, people, if you're looking to come, the building does not look like the church. It's just an AI picture, okay? But it's a cool looking picture though. All right. So tomorrow evening, 6 p.m., Copperas Cove, Trinity Worship Center, 1802 Martin Luther King Drive, behind Walmart. Okay. All right. So I am pretty much out of time. All right. And the next Copperas Cove Conservative Club meeting is July 14th. All right. So I will see everybody in an hour. I'm about to initiate the raid. I didn't get to do an ad read, but that's all right. 30 minutes, you would not believe, goes by very, very fast. All right. So here comes the raid. 7 o'clock. It's ready to go. I will catch y'all on the flip side. I'm out.